Hey all, welcome to Wrestle Chop. I am Ken, that's Jeremy, and there were a lot of things that happened, a lot of pay-per-views actually this weekend. I want to start off, I know we're a WWE predominant channel, but I want to start off with MJF because he returned, and honestly, Jeremy, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like MJF feels like he made the wrong choice. I'm not saying that.
Talk to me about why that is.
Like,
I'm gonna have my own thoughts on it.
I actually 100% think he made the wrong choice too, especially with how hot WWE is right now. But pocketbooks wise, I could see Tony saying, I cannot lose another CM Punk. I cannot lose another Cody Rhodes. And so I could see him giving him a ton of money. But MJF, I think you made the wrong choice, but more importantly, you got to live with yourself. I think you made the wrong choice, and this is why I think it. Okay, I'm just going to say it, and then I'm going to give the floor to you. I'm not even going to really explain myself other than what I'm about to say. The reason is, he comes on, right? First off, he has a tattoo that says, bet on yourself. It says bet on the top, yourself on the bottom, and then a poker chip that says AEW. And, you know, it's double or nothing. It's the pay-per-view, casino-based, whatever. And first off, that tattoo it doesn't look good. I'll find a picture, put it on here. It looks like my friend who was learning how to do tattoos.
I'll have to look at it again.
It doesn't look that good.
I didn't think it looked terrible. It's not my style of tattoo, but I didn't think it just looked ass or anything.
Dude, that guy just got at least $1 million to re-sign. He could have got a better tattoo. Like, I could get that same tattoo for $40. All right, he could have got a better tattoo. And then, but the point is, he got a tattoo saying, "Oh, I'm AEW strong" or whatever. It's like, okay, who you trying to convince here, MJF?
Tattoo is not that bad.
It's bad.
It's not that
dude.
Bad. It could be worse. It's not that bad.
It could. Anyway, it could be worse. Is not a ringing endorsement. Okay, look at other wrestlers and their tattoos.
There are a lot of wrestlers with bad tattoos. Let's be clear.
CM Punk has a better Pepsi tattoo than he has an AEW tattoo.
This isn't about his tattoo. What do you say?
It is now. Right. But the other thing is, you actually mentioned it off right before we started. So I don't want to be stealing your thought, but now it's become my thought. The fact that he mentioned Vince McMahon, he mentioned New Japan. It's like, I don't need them. Okay. You don't need the NFL either, dude. But, like, why are you telling us this? Why don't you
it's
just...
Like, from your perspective, it's like, who are you trying to convince me?
Exactly. I get it, why you signed with Tony. Like, you're the biggest fish in a small pond, right? You're going to be at the top.
You think that? I mean, if we listen to... So, you said you were going to say...
Okay, I'm done talking. You go.
But I guess, so I want to talk. I want to take a step back and talk about how good it is to see MJF again.
Yeah, I'm glad he's back.
I feel like we're kind of in this same kind of stasis in between period with Roman right now, to where when he comes back, I think it's going to be so good to see him. But for AEW, it's such a great thing that it's such a great thing that MJF is back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's so great for that
company. I'm happy for them.
Right, same. I do agree with you that how aggressively he comes with the "I don't need anybody else but AEW" reads less like pride to me and more like insecurity, but I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's the way it comes off, right? I'll also say that I don't think he made the wrong decision for him. If you listen to his promo, I saved that one part where he says I don't need a New Japan and I don't need a Vince McMahon, right? Other than that, right? When he talks about how MJF made MJF, you know what I mean? How in this company where you don't get over by just being a part of the company,
yeah,
right? I made my name, right? So why would you want to lend that equity to anyone else? You know what I mean? Unless it's going to benefit you in dividends, not only financially, but as an artist, as a performer. You know what I mean?
I get it, but I mean he's lending it to AEW. No matter what, he has to lend it to somebody.
Do you believe? I mean, what I'm saying, but his point kind of, I think when he talks about AEW, what I hear is that he almost feels like he's bigger than AEW in a way, like his character does. You know what I mean? Or his character sits alongside it in a way that, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, he definitely thinks he's bigger.
He's lending equity to AEW, yes, but at the same time, it's different in the place where that made you, or like he would say, where he made himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
And so I don't know that he made the wrong decision. If as a performer, being at AEW is going to allow him to work the way he wants to work, it is, and with the folks he wants to work with. You know what I mean? Truly, then he may have made the right decision for himself. And right now, do you honestly, where do you see him fitting in WWE?
Well, I was gonna bring that up. That is why though. It's so no matter what, I do feel that he's a big fish in a small pond. Like sure. AEW, that pond gets smaller every year because of how they're performing. Sure. 2019, they were a big pond, but now I feel they have just shrinking basically because the quality of the storytelling and this and this, and they no longer have the goodwill. The honeymoon period is over, and MJF, if he went to WWE, no questions asked, he wouldn't be treated as big of a star at this exact moment that he would have maybe 2 or 3 years ago, even in WWE.
Here's a question though: do you think? No, I don't think. I think that no matter when MJF, I think that at any point, if MJF ever decided to come to or go to the WWE, right? I think that he would be. I think they rolled the red carpet out for him. I hope they do. I hope they give him Jade. People are saying that. Oh, I've heard people say, "Oh, MJF will be a jobber at WWE." I don't think that MJF would ever allow himself to be a jobber anywhere. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I think he's such a disruptor.
You know what I would be
noise. But I guess what I'm saying, but I guess my point is, I think that no matter at what point MJF went to the WWE, if he ever went to that side, right? They rolled the red carpet out for him. But in this current layout, with this current roster, where do you see room for him?
Yeah.
That's my question.
That is the reason why I do feel that MJF might have made the smartest choice, actually, because you're right. Where does he fit? He doesn't really. Look at LA Knight, right? Now, the difference is LA Knight is way older than MJF, about 15 or so years. But the thing about it is, LA Knight was red hot, right? Coming out of Saudi Arabia, fighting the tribal chief. And then CM Punk came back. And then Randy Orton came back. And then The Rock came back. And then Cody had to finish his story.
And we're adding Bloodline members.
You know what
I mean?
Gunther has left the IC title picture. Gunther has left the mid-card. Drew McIntyre became red hot. Seth Rollins is red hot again when he comes back. So I would say that somebody that is untested. Well, so LA Knight has fallen down the card considerably. I just did a video even called 3 Hot, 3 Not. And LA Knight is on the not list. Mm-hmm. 2 PLEs he has not been featured on. And he was in the country both times. He was in France. He was in Saudi Arabia. So you can't say, oh, well, they didn't want to have to pay for a ticket. So MJF could fall in that category. Or he could become like an Austin Theory, where it's like, okay, well, he has so much potential. Let's just put him on the back burner for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's not MJF. He would definitely 100% lose his spot as a top guy in the WWE, at least for the first year or two. And maybe MJF doesn't want to do that, and that's why I
just don't think so. I think
there's no room for him.
So when you look at when you look at how they received Jade Cargill, right?
Jade's an anomaly, and it's the women's division.
I don't know that that's true. What do you mean? What do you think makes
In the women's division, you don't have what I just mentioned. Who do you have?
No, but I'm talking about as far as reception is concerned. I'm talking about the way that the WWE extended themselves.
I think they would have done that.
The red carpet and pull out all the stops for Jade.
I think they would have done that a couple of years ago with MJF, and they might even do it to an extent.
I don't think that MJF would want that exactly. I think that MJF, if he ever makes the switch, is going to come in in the way that Cody did. I think he's going to be considered a part of the main event, the main event picture as soon as he makes the transition.
If MJF was okay with going to NXT, he would be NXT, right? He could be the champion forever. He could do everything there and then bump up to WWE and get the reception that Cody did. But I don't think coming right away he would. And
I think he would. I don't think there's any other way to do it with a character like that.
I would
forget about for a second the performer. Forget for a second that performer, but the performer himself, like the real guy.
Well,
but the character that we've known in like the waves that
no WWE history, no name, no dad who was the American Dream. That's why I just don't think it. But let's just say they did. I still feel like he would flounder a little because of where everything stands right now. Like Damian Priest is about to get shot down back to the mid card. I mean, after Drew, I know
you assume that, and you know what, and I do. I know it makes perfect sense for Drew to win at Clash of the Castle. Also, we didn't announce that. Well, I'm sure people know though that Priest and
Drew Clash of the Castle
and Drew have been made official for Clash of the Castle. But I really didn't like. I mean. Drew calling Priest the transitional champion, and I was hoping that they would have him win just despite that particular bar, you know.
The only way I kind of wanted to, but like I just don't see it happening. Drew lost last year at Clash. He just re-signed. The dude's winning in his home country. There's no way. But let's just pretend he did it. It would just add. Drew's one of the few characters that his character gets more when he loses. It's not like Jey Uso. To me, every time Jey Uso loses, you pick it away at the main event status that we're supposed to see him as. But every time Drew McIntyre loses, it makes me want to watch him more. It makes me excited about that next interview that he gives where he's going to complain about why he got screwed over again. So Drew's in a perfect position where he can win and even lose and come out the better. So if Damian Priest can do it, I hope that would be great because then Gunther, because after Gunther has announced that he's not going after Cody, he's announced that he's going after the world title, and that's probably going to happen either at SummerSlam or. The German, Bash at Berlin, I think.
So speaking of, let's go ahead and back on it. So last things I want to say about
MJF.
Cool Triple H cosplay.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing about his just
cosplay.
It's kind of like when Cody smashed the throne. Okay, Cody, we get it. You made it on your own. Good job, dude. And Cody will be the first to be embarrassed about it nowadays. It's like you're trying too hard to show that you did it. The best way...
You think he's embarrassed by that?
I think MJF is self-conscious about his decision, whether he made the right one or the wrong one for his career.
I don't think.
Hey, he's going to get a lot of money, and he's going to work a lot of less.
I just think the production value of AEW is bad. And that makes everything look questionable. Even
maybe
MJF's choices.
Maybe. I'm kind of okay with taking shots at WWE because, when you're in second place, you take shots at the big dog. However, you don't do it every single moment you get a chance. Yeah, it still needs to feel special.
It just makes you like, I don't know. If you ever had two friends that like supposedly was cool, but they actually didn't like each other, and one of them always got to bring the other one up. Like, you saw what Brett. Yeah. It's just kind of like you're clearly not okay. You know what I mean? Like you clearly got some like unresolved stuff. You know what I mean?
And what does MJF do now? Because, we were talking about what does he do in WWE. He kind of has the opposite problem, but still the same problem in AEW. Okay, so he's going to go squash Swerve. He's going to go defeat Swerve. And
I don't think he should have I don't think he should squash.
No, not squash. Let's just say, I'm saying, like, it's a foregone conclusion that he needs to become the world title champion now, and he's going to beat Swerve in, 2 or 3 pay-per-views. Okay, what have you done with Swerve? Like,
how do you know MJF isn't determined to launch Swerve into that next tier by putting him over?
It would be awesome if he did, but
that's what I'm saying. How do we know that that's not the case?
We don't. But
one thing I've always appreciated hearing MJF talk about Swerve is that he talks about the two of them kind of like opposite mirror images. So he talks about himself. He says, "I'm one of the best talkers in the history of wrestling, and I could have rested on that and not pushed myself to become a great athlete. And on the other side, Swerve has always been a great athlete, and he could have rested on that and not pushed himself to become a decent talker. And he kind of sees them as, like I said, opposite mirror images. So it'll be interesting to see a back and forth between them.
What they need to do is have a 6-month program at least, and MJF cannot win right away, because if Swerve was, I feel Tony, it's been documented that Tony really, he has like years of booking done. Like he wrote it all down, right? I'm shocked that he actually gave it to Swerve. But sometimes Tony will listen to, and he'll make a knee-jerk reaction. Like, oh, these people, they don't think I listen to them. Swerve is super hot right now. Let me give him the title. And maybe that was the right decision, but the way Tony made the decision was wrong because, okay, you got the title, but the next Wednesday, he's the second on the card fighting a nobody. Right. So yeah, you listened to the people, but you didn't change any of your booking really. And now it's like, what's going on here? And Swerve will be dangerously damaged, in my opinion, if he just loses the title and he just goes about his day. Like,
I agree.
What happened to Hangman Page? He did nothing after he lost his title.
To the title. The build to the title was so great. The build to him becoming the champion, was so great. And then it's just kind of been flat ever since. But it's interesting because that's the same critique Cody's getting.
Well, Cody's a little different to me because of how I seen how they did Roman. Roman's first opponent was mid-card Jey Uso. So it's a little different because WWE has built some goodwill with me.
But it's different. No, it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. I'm saying
I don't have any faith. I don't have any faith in AEW.
It's different because it's a different company,
yeah,
right?
But
I'm just saying that they're both. I'm just kind of in a general way. They're both getting commentary about stale title runs when they had stellar build-ups.
Okay, fine. That's fine. But there's still a lot of people in the wings at WWE. Who's in the wings at you could say, the henchman Okada? Yeah. Maybe the new buck sick Okada on Swerve. AEW has done a miraculous job of taking a megastar and pushing him to a mid-card nothing, Okada. And WWE has done a stellar job of taking a mid-card tag team wrestler, Tama Tonga, and making him awesome.
Have they? He's still okay,
let's not say awesome. Let's say he seems like a big deal.
It's now like 1-1.
He should have.
Right?
He should have lost to Randy. He should have been in the. He should have been in the King of the Ring. That's another thing. That's another thing. My 3 hot 3 not Bloodline is on the not. I put them on the not because when was the last time the Bloodline was not on a pay-per-view? Way to go, Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa.
Here's a question: How do you feel about the whole Braun not being included storyline? Do you think that that's something that like actually happened? Like they decided to not put him in the tournament, and then he kind of made an argument for it, and then they were like, "Oh, well, let's put it in the show."
Maybe, but I love this King of the Ring is how you do a tournament. In my opinion, this King of the Ring is how you do a tournament because you need to have storylines. And I did a YouTube short on this, and there are multiple storylines in this, but they even made a storyline out of a guy not being in the tournament, Braun Breaker, and now he can be even more pissed off because a title shot eventually came into play.
Right.
So, like, I'm really happy with what they've done with the King of the Ring, with the exception of certain people. Like, I don't think Jey Uso could have afforded a loss. I don't like that Tama Tonga lost. I don't like that Jey.
He can afford a loss because he's so over. Eventually,
we're gonna disagree on that.
I am telling you, he is going to come to a point where it's his turn to be pushed, and he's never gonna lose.
His turn. His turn started at WrestleMania 40. I will tell you this. So me and Jeremy, we disagree on certain people having win-losses. It matters, right? Like, for example, Randy Orton has lost 5 of his last pay-per-views.
What is his singles record?
Hang on. He has lost.
Single record.
He has lost at 5 pay-per-views. All right.
He's lost multi-team, like multiple man matches where it doesn't hurt him.
Give me a second. I'm about to agree with you. If you would let me talk.
Hurry up and agree with me then.
He has lost 5 pay-per-views, or he has not won at 5 pay-per-views.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, he is at a point where it does not matter. His loss to Gunther does not matter at all. But the guy is entering his 3rd decade of wrestling. Okay, you're fine, dude. But Jey Uso, even though he's been around forever as a main event Jey Uso, he does not have that win-loss record that allows him loss after loss. Randy Orton could go to Bash at Berlin. He can lose the rest of the year and still be okay. But Jey Uso, I do not believe, can do that. Does that make sense?
But I think it's a thing where you have to do that. You have to do that. You have to be in a position where a majority of the time you're going to lose and you're going to win sometimes to eventually get to that place where you're the main person and you put on banger after banger as the main event and you win all the titles and the championships and then you are cemented and it doesn't really matter because you've done all your stuff. You've accomplished everything.
But he's not there. But
he's not. That's what I'm saying. And
but you can't just lose though. He shouldn't be put in a position where he's losing to people. Just give him wins over Chad Gable, over Sami Zayn.
But it's not even like he honestly he wins in matches where I think a lot of people find it questionable from like a kayfabe perspective. Like you're putting Jey Uso over Ilya Dragunov.
Ilya Dragunov shouldn't have been in this tournament either.
I agree. I mean, I think honestly, if Braun wasn't going to be in the tournament, I think Ilya shouldn't have been in the tournament.
Agreed.
Like personally, you know what I mean? But
see, Ricochet was a perfect person for the tournament. You know.
Oh, what do you think about the Ricochet comments from Will Ospreay?
What did he say?
He essentially said that WWE underutilizes him, and he's sad to see it because he looks up to Ricochet. He's like, so many of guys with my style, we were looking up to Ricochet. We were inspired by Ricochet, and we were imitating Ricochet in a way. And to see him be a mid-card jobber in WWE is disheartening and it's sad. Like they aren't letting him be who he is. Like they aren't like acknowledging how grand his talent is. But my response to that is Ricochet is definitely at the top of the roster skill-wise. He, without a doubt, is one of the best in the WWE right now. He's never been a great promo. And when you struggle with promos, you struggle with storytelling altogether. Storytelling suffers altogether when you can't cut a promo. And I'm not saying that he's completely inept at promos, but he's nowhere near the top ranks of promos on the show. Like you think about the difference between, like we talk about Drew McIntyre's growth as a speaker, right?
Yeah.
Think about Drew McIntyre's level of talking and the way that he communicates with the crowd and his partner and his opponent, right? Versus Ricochet kind of has these like Ricochet talks like the written responses
text to talk.
No, like a written like a hero, like a protagonist in a video game.
Oh,
that's
okay.
How Ricochet talks.
Yeah, okay.
It's like these supposed to be cool one-liners, kind of.
You know what I mean? It's probably because he can't think on the fly, which a lot of people can't, and so he's given a script by writers who don't know exactly how to write for wrestlers. You need to be able to take a script and then make it your own.
Sure.
And I'll say this: it's not impossible. Rey Mysterio was never a great promo guy for a long time. Sometimes he can cut a good one, but for the most part, I don't think Rey Mysterio is a good one. But hey, he succeeded. Good for him.
He definitely isn't like best all time.
But I will say this about Will Ospreay, Ospreay's comments that you say. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I think it's a fair comment for him. When there's a wrestler that I really like and he's jobbing a lot, I get a little disappointed too. So he's disappointed that his favorite wrestler is jobbing.
My problem is I don't believe in jobbing unless it's like a squash. And that's just me, right? I don't believe that there's any such thing as jobbing unless it's a squash, because you're a performer. You're going out there to perform your ass off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but we disagree.
That's our whole argument about wins and losses. You know what I mean? Like,
And I just disagree with that. And I probably, when it comes to wins and losses, I probably match Will Ospreay's opinions on it. That they do matter to a point.
I think
because it's like Drew McIntyre was when he was with 3MB, his losses, like, you knew he was going to lose, you knew he could never become champion. But when he came back and he only won.
Check me out. I think, especially with what we just saw from Ricochet and Ilya, right? It feels to me, and I could be wrong, right? But Ricochet's skill set, as amazing as it is only comes into full view against certain opponents.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I don't know, man. I agree that he's amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's a style that has as much utility in the WWE as it does in other places.
I agree too.
I don't even think it has that much utility in AEW.
No, he would have some banger matches at AEW.
Yeah, no, for sure. You have better ones, but there are only so many times you can do Ricochet versus Will.
But they just have
Ricochet versus.
They just have a different mindset. Everybody will do the moves that Ricochet does. They're unique because nobody else does them in WWE. But any of those moves that Ricochet does, 3 people will do it on AEW on a random collision, a show that means nothing. So Ricochet he could win every match in AEW, but he would be devalued going to AEW because his moveset wouldn't be unique anymore. He will never get
honestly, truly, I just feel like the only thing he really needs to make it to that upper tier in WWE is to work on his mic skills.
That's everybody. Almost.
It's not everybody, because there are folks who are super well developed on the mic, who are really good on the mic.
I'm saying like
I'm trying to think of even someone like I'm not, because I don't want to talk about Punk. I don't want to talk about Drew anymore on the mic. I don't want to talk about Cody on the mic.
LA Knight. LA Knight.
Great. They're all like upper tier. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to think of like folks who are in the class just below that on the mic. They're not like terrific all-time greats on the mic.
The Miz?
But they can communicate a story.
The Miz?
I don't know. I might argue he's in that upper tier.
So okay, tell me exactly what you're looking for.
I'm looking for somebody who's active right now, who is not like they're not a 10 on the mic. They're not even an 8 on the mic. They might be a 6 on the mic, but you can count on them consistently to come out and communicate all the story beats, everything you need to say. And that's one of my biggest problems.
The New Day?
Sure. I rock with the New Day as an example of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think who are we just talking about? I'm sorry, I forget.
Ricochet and his inability to really communicate.
I don't think Ricochet is as good on the mic as Xavier Woods. I don't think Ricochet is as good on the mic as Big E. I don't think Ricochet is as good on the mic as Kofi Kingston. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All those guys New Day as a tag team, as a faction, and Kofi as a champion,
and right? Big E also.
I mentioned Big E
as a champion.
Oh, and yeah, you know, you're right. And Big E as a champion, like they had their moments, right? They had their moments, and they were decent on the mic when they did.
Yeah.
Ricochet still hasn't gotten to that point to where you can consistently count on him to communicate story on a microphone. He can do it in the ring, but we cannot like really put a story on his back to run with. It feels like.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. But again, I still think that Will Ospreay's comment is fair in that he's just disappointed that his favorite wrestler. If that's what you like, but you and me, we're always going to want the mic skill and the wrestling skill.
Right.
I'll take LA Knight over Ricochet, even though Ricochet's the better wrestler. And I'll take... huh?
I think I agree.
Yeah, but, you know, and every once in a while there'll be someone that you're like, don't do that with. Every once in a while you'll be like, you know what, I'll take Rey Mysterio over Bret the Hitman Hart. Well, maybe that's a bad example, but I'll take Rey Mysterio over Jericho or something like that.
So going like to do an intergender comparison, how do you feel about like Tiffany Stratton's mic skills versus a Ricochet? And I'm not trying to bury Ricochet. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a fact. It's a straight up fact. And the guy is even like he was even given a top spot with Logan Paul. It was literally because they did that Royal Rumble spot and they wanted to get some viral stuff out of him. But like Ricochet needed to use that to springboard himself.
I wish we could have gotten a real feud between those two. That was more than...
But it was all Logan Paul. Logan Paul literally carried any kind of anything. Unless...
No, but I guess what I'm saying is like, and out of that, so they had that spot, right? And they had a moment on a Monday night, right? Yeah. And then what was the match you were just talking about?
SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, right? I would have wanted to see like a long drawn out back and forth feud between those two. Yeah. That would have been really nice. Like I'm hoping we get between Ricochet and Ilja.
Yeah. I don't think those two, I think they're done. I think Ilja made Ricochet look strong in defeat, but I think that's about all Ricochet's going to get. Maybe he'll get one U.S. title run later one more time in his life, but in regards to Tiffany Stratton...
How old is he?
I don't know. Tiffany Stratton, though, she's like... She might be a bad example because I think she's one of those people that are just amazing, that just had it in them. You know, they just needed a little training. They were naturals. You know, naturals are like... And I'm not saying she's as good as these guys, but Tiffany Stratton is like a Kurt Angle, a Logan Paul, people who, like, wait, how long have you been in the business? You've been in the business for 2 years, and you're this good? You know what I mean? And Tiffany's really good on the mic. She's really good at getting heat. She's really good in the ring. Is she the best? No, but she's so good for 2 years.
I was about to say, and she's only been doing it for so.
Yeah.
But, so looking at so something that we've kind of ignored on the show, I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I just missed it, is age. And so you just recently had AJ Styles going to the GM saying, "Hey, look, I don't have a ton of time." You know what I mean? And that kind of thing. And you think Ricochet's 35, Seth Rollins is 37. While I before was optimistic about the time for Ricochet to really get his shot, I don't know. I feel I'm a little disheartened. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's not. He's never gonna be a top guy, unless. And
I don't want to say that, man. I'm hopeful, but it is hard to hope.
yeah,
Hope for this. Yeah.
I'm a little more. I wouldn't say realistic because I think that's unfair to say. I think that makes you look a little like I don't know how.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't mind you saying that it's
But
more realistic. Yeah,
I'm more like. I try to look like I try to look at like just the hard numbers or like no emotions at all, and it definitely could happen. I mean, I never thought Kofi would become champion, never in a million years. After a while, after a certain point, I gave up on Kofi becoming champion, and then it happened. So anything can happen.
I mean, we got a stupid Goldberg title run. You know what I mean?
Don't get me started. I hate Goldberg. I hate Goldberg.
I guess, and so if we can get that kind of thing, hopefully we can get a reasonable.
Yeah, but Goldberg's a little different, and
Goldberg is a little different. What I'm saying is, thinking about age and aging out of being in the
Ricochet's best bet is to get a really good IC run. That's about it. If Chad Gable can get the title and Otis doesn't take it from him, that's Ricochet's best shot. He's never going to get that championship.
I don't know. I don't want to say that.
I don't want to either, but I am saying it. I'll call that. Hopefully, I'm wrong because hell, these guys put their heart and soul and tears, their family, everything is put on hold for wrestling. Usually, I would love if every single wrestler could could become champion. I wish,
but at the same time, and I know that, like me too. I'd love it if every single wrestler could have a world championship run, but every single wrestler isn't Ricochet.
Yeah, and
every single wrestler isn't Ricochet and doesn't have that kind of skill.
Yeah, but Jake the Snake didn't get it. Mr. Perfect didn't get it.
Yeah,
Piper. That Piper's even a better one because arguably, like, we forget how valuable Piper was to the business. Hogan wouldn't be Hogan without Rowdy Piper.
Right.
Granted, Hogan is more important than Rowdy Piper, but you need a villain. Right. Without a villain, without Vince McMahon, who knows how good Austin would have became. Right. Without Austin, who knows how good The Rock would have became. Right. And
going to our not SummerSlam stuff. I'm already into a few months from now. King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Just want a quick.
Loved it. I was amazed at how good King of the Ring. A lot of times I know it's called King and Queen of the Ring. I apologize. I'm not trying to be like, I don't know, chauvinistic or anything, but I grew up. I'm 44 years old. I've only known it as King of the Ring for like 30 years, so I'm just stuck in my ways. It's not a conscious decision for me to leave out and Queen of the Ring. It's just what I do on accident. I apologize. Go on.
You got and we talked about it a little bit in pre-pro. Bianca
Belair, Jade versus I don't even know
Hartwell. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae.
Oh yeah,
in the pre-show.
Wait, 1 second. Here's a little Easter egg for you guys. If you look at every one of my videos, I had like 2, maybe 3 times I talked about Jade and Bianca in my videos. You'll notice I never say their opponent's name because I could never remember. They were so forgettable to me. I could never remember. So I'll always say, yeah, Jade and Bianca are fighting.
Maybe Candice is forgettable, but not really Indy.
I haven't connected with them, but every single time I would never mention their name, and every time I'm thinking, shit, what is her name? Okay, go on.
But it was a little disappointing that happened in pre-show. But I give the grace of the fact that they never even advertised the tag match.
Yeah,
it was something that we kind of got spur of the moment. It feels like, and so. Glad they retained, I guess.
Honestly, I'm very happy with it. And the reason why I'm happy with it is because Jade Cargill got experience in front of a large crowd. And she was probably very nervous because, no shade, but Saudi Arabia is not known for loving women wrestling. So to be in kind of a crowd like that, I think
I think that's interesting. It sounded like they.
No. I think honestly, this is the best crowd that Saudi Arabia has ever done. So I'm just saying historically, but no, they were into women's wrestling. They treated every wrestling match. So I apologize also if I made it seem a certain way. Historically, they haven't been into women's wrestling, but this one, they were. This crowd was on point. Were they the French crowd? No. But they were better than a lot of American crowds.
The camera was still bouncing.
They were better than Ohio. And no shade on Ohio. I'm from Michigan. Shade on Ohio, but like they were better than a lot of American towns, and they were into the women's match. So, but what I was saying though, historically, not this time, and I want Jay to experience hostile crowds because Ronda Rousey could never deal with a hostile crowd, and I think that put her off to wrestling and the business, and I want Jade to experience that stuff as she grows in her wrestling.
I mean, while she has some in-ring work to do, let's not take anything away from her as a performer.
No, she's great. I love her.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, just as a professional, she has been doing this for a while. You
her AEW stuff was like nothing.
I mean, as an athlete, though, you know what I mean? You talk about in the world of basketball. You talk about at AEW.
Wrestling's different. Wrestling's different. Whole different ballgame.
What I'm saying to you is, let's not act like she may be a noob as far as getting the skills down, but she's not a noob as far as being in the ring.
Okay. She's not a noob. She's not a noob like that, but being able to connect with the crowd and stuff, it's different. I just feel it's different. And like I just said, Ronda Rousey couldn't do it, and Ronda Rousey was no slouch in front of a camera.
Yeah, but Ronda's also like generally shitty. That's just me.
I just want, but either way, hey, if she didn't, if Jay didn't need it, then she didn't need it. But from my perspective, I'm glad she got that experience.
But getting into the matches, right? So first up, you had Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. So first of all, I really appreciated and it took me a second to really lock in on. I was telling my wife, I was like, Becky's wearing an entire suit. but you had both of these nods to like 2000s Britney Spears.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I was happy to see Liv win, mostly because I was just happy to see Becky lose.
I am not. I know you're kind of a Becky Hogan person. I am not. I do feel that she has a lot of value to bring still. I'm not saying you don't. How do I say it though? That doesn't put words in your mouth. I just
dislike her character. It's not even like I acknowledge her skill.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to seem like I'm not.
Yeah.
But she is
enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I would like her to go away for a little bit. Yeah. I would.
Like I say, I think if you are, I am a Becky hater. I am. I don't want to see Becky. I don't want Becky. But if you are a Becky hater that does not see her value, you got to go back and watch that cage match with Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Like to see how she elevated Trish Stratus, to see how she really how she helped to draw the feeling and emotion out of the crowd. I think you really need to go back and look at that with a close eye if you are a Becky hater, and really go back and look at how she elevates all of her opponents.
I do feel she needs to come back with a tweak on her character, or come back as full blown the man. But let's give her a little bit.
Speaking of, can we not go in order, and can we skip the triple threat match and go to the Queen of the Ring real quick? Speaking of tweaking character,
yeah, we could go, because that was maybe not the match of the night, but the move of the night.
Man, you talking about that Annihilator?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. And it's nice to see like believable dominance from Nia. That really looked like it hurt.
I love Nia Jax right now. I could care less about Nia her first run. Other than every once in a while she'd do something like I was like, yeah. But this run, without a doubt, has been amazing and awesome. And if you want to argue your win-loss thing, this would be a good one because she just lost to Liv Morgan, and look at her now. It's like this is Nia Jax.
You know, I think it's so interesting that Becky has never pinned Nia.
She beat her once.
She never pinned.
Okay. Yeah,
that was like a street fight or something.
I actually like that too. I like that there's interesting.
But check me out. Don't you think it's interesting that Becky has never pinned Nia, and Liv has?
Yeah.
But Liv's had a hard time beating Becky. You know what I mean? Up until this point.
I actually do kind of like when they do that, and it's random. It's like there's just one guy that just always gets the better. And you know who Randy Orton's was? The one guy who could always get the better on Randy Orton?
Who that?
The modern day Maharaja. Jinder Mahal!
I love Jinder Mahal. I love
Jinder. Don't hinder Jinder. Don't hinder Jinder. Right. But let's Nia Jax is Huh?
Nothing.
Nia Jax is without a doubt right call. Great rehire.
When I was watching her entrance, I was like, I've been really excited about Nia too. Her entrance theme is a very Divas era sounding still. It sounds very like early mid 2000s still, and I think that's something that could be tweaked.
Maybe.
But generally, like I would like to see a couple character tweaks, like with her dominance right now, and her momentum, having just won the Queen of the Ring. I'd love to see some character tweaks.
Well, I hope she destroys Bayley. I hope the music thing is, I guess, for the most part, they got rid of the guy who did all the great music a couple years ago, and they brought in this company, and they're hit or miss. You know, I can't.
Forget what the name of the.
It's like Def something or.
I forget what it is, but I know what you're talking about.
A lot of people don't like
him. They put voice tags at the beginning of the.
Yeah, and they've done some good stuff. I like Tamatonga. They did Roman Reigns, but a lot of their stuff is just like eh.
I don't know, man. It feels to me like when I hear the Bloodline stuff, it's all like very generic.
Have you seen Tamatonga's?
Mm-hmm.
I really like his entrance.
Mm.
It's very, it has the. Go watch it again, maybe from like give it a second shot. Yeah, give it a second shot. Okay, so we're gonna go quick because honestly we've been talking for a long time. We gotta wrap this up soon. Are you happy with Gunther?
I'm a little bored about Gunther, but that's just
really
tournament. I think that the different ways, like the different submissions from the tournament and him ending the match in different ways, I think that I've just been a bit bored. I'm not saying that he's actually boring. I don't know. I think I just need a second. He'll probably get interested again.
Honestly, Gunther has he needs a feud too. If he wins that world title, he needs to start feuding because he hasn't the only real feud I can think of. Well, I guess he did feud with Sheamus and Drew, but
right.
Like his biggest feud to me has been actually Chad Gable, and I want to see Gunther start getting into some big feuds. And we'll probably if Drew wins that world title. That's why I think Drew might lose, actually, so Damian Priest can lose the title to Gunther. Because how are we going to have... If they turn Drew good, I swear, I'm going to lose interest in the guy. And I was never a Drew hater, but, like, his villainy is so good. Huh?
I mean, technically, he's not bad now. He hasn't really done anything. You know what I mean?
No, but he is. He's very much... He's very much a Bret Hart before he turned to the bad side. Just like whiny, complaining, and nobody wants to hear it. But everything he says is true. He was cheated. He did lose his spot to Jey Uso, and it wasn't fair. And this, you know, but it's like, shut up. We don't want to hear it. But
yeah. So I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I wasn't super excited about the.
I loved it. I love Gunther. I really do love Gunther.
I love Gunther too. I'm just a little bored right now.
Well, I wasn't, but that's fine. And I was very happy. King of the Ring blew me away.
Logan Paul threat match for the IC title.
That was great. I wish they weren't doing. I feel the moment Bronson Reed's out of the picture and Chad wins the title, I feel it's going to almost go instantly to him versus Otis. And I would love for Otis to regain that singles momentum that he got before the world shut down in 2020. But I kind of wish Otis was more on board right now, and it would be more of a slow thing. It feels like we're already at the end point, that Otis is already getting slapped in the face, you know? A slap in the point where you're slapping the person in the face, you're almost like a month or two away from the final breaking point. I wish we weren't there yet.
I think that's a fine, depending on how far they plan on taking this.
Yeah, I just wish Otis...
Depending on how far they feel, like, how far are we going to go? Are we getting Ting Angle 2.0 with the Creed brothers?
Yeah.
Is Angle coming back to be a manager?
He actually wanted that.
Like, what is it gonna look like? Like, it just depends. Because you got to think about, if you put the Creed brothers over there, you need a little bit of time to build that in story. You need to find a natural way to slide Angle in.
Yeah, I just wanted Otis to be kind of like Sami Zayn was for the Bloodline, and Sami Zayn was with the Bloodline for a long time. Yeah, but we knew it was happening.
And then, I think you have to think about the repercussions for the rest of the characters. So we finally found a space for Tozawa as a part of the Alpha Academy. What happens to Tozawa now? What happens to Maxine Dupree? Where does she go? What is the angle for her now? You know what I mean?
Well, she can always be swayed by Ivy Niles. Ivy gets her. You know, the real victim in this will be Tozawa. He'll go right back to... I mean, he's already a jobber, but right now he's a jobber with character. He'll either be complete jobber or, future endeavored.
Right.
So he's going to be the one that... Unless he can find a way to stay with Chad after Otis leaves, he becomes the henchman. He becomes the Virgil.
During that triple threat match, they recreated this spot from years ago with I know it was Kurt Angle. It was Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, and Randy Orton. I want to say. Oh, the triple suplex.
Yeah.
The original spot was set up way better. The spot from the other day was just kind of like, all right, let's all get together and do and do a suplex, but it was still cool to see.
Yeah, cool to see. You know, it's one of those that you do have to suspend your disbelief to get a cool visual, because it's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Also, I appreciate it. I want to see more of heel Gable. It also just doesn't feel yet like. It just feels like he's going out there and being a heel. It doesn't feel like him. He's like, you need to listen to me and do what I say and listen to me. You never listen to me. Like, that's all he said. Like, when he's berating the Alpha Academy, that's all he's saying. It's nothing like of substance. If you been like truly disrespectful, other than you guys are bad.
I get what you're saying. If you look at the first in-ring promo after his heel turn, that you get that. So if you missed it, go back and watch it because it's amazing.
I watched it. I just don't believe him.
Oh, okay. I do. I'm loving him right now. And but what you're saying is legit. That's all he's kind of complaining about. Let's just the Logan Paul thing. Logan Paul, Cody. Logan Paul, Cody. I liked the match for a moment. I was like, are they doing it? And so, good job. They got me to question even for a microsecond. Logan Paul, continuously amazing. Love the guy. He's so funny. I can't believe I live in a universe where I like Logan Paul. Definitely. I mean, I do want to talk Sexy Red for a little bit. But that's why I put in my video that Sexy... So, we're going to jump to Sexy Red and then jump right back to Logan Paul. Sexy Red...
This is how you connect the two, because I think that they kind of do similar things for wrestling. But
so Sexy Red is a rapper that I know little about. I think she's from Detroit, though, so I don't live in Michigan anymore. But so I'd probably know her more if I was there. But she very controversial. I do not like her music at all, right? But I did not
How
like.
much Sexy Red have you listened to, Ken?
I listened to some, so I haven't listened to an album.
Preparation to talk about it here on the pod.
Yeah, I don't like it though, and I talked to somebody who actually knew that was actually a fan of hers, and so I was asking them questions. So I'm kind of going off of that.
Like
person.
You gotta listen to Sexy Red outside. You can't listen to Sexy Red in the studio on the pod studio. You gotta be outside. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless,
maybe you gotta get the feeling for it, baby.
Well, let me tell you this: I don't like Bad Bunny's music either, but I haven't listened to everything Bad Bunny's produced. But I will say this: Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, Sexy Red. Now, is Sexy Red on the same level as Bad Bunny? Probably not.
She's not wrestling.
No, I'm not talking wrestling. I'm talking
as
a music artist. No, because from what I've seen, is Bad Bunny.
New artist.
Bad Bunny is huge, right? But here's what I'm saying in regards to this: is that I was 100% against Bad Bunny coming into WWE, and then he proved me wrong.
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap. This guy respects the business. Then Logan Paul came in, and I was 100% against Logan Paul coming in. And now he's literally my second favorite wrestler under Drew McIntyre. I love Logan Paul as a wrestler. As a human being, probably not. I don't know, honestly. I know he's done some stuff, but I also know that a lot of people deserve second chances, and a lot of people screw up. But as a wrestler, so he proved me wrong. So now Sexy Red comes in, and she's only coming into NXT. Initially, my gut reaction is, I don't like her. I don't want her in this. But then I think back to Bad Bunny. I think back to Logan Paul. And I'm like, you know what? Give her a chance. That's what I'm like.
My thing is, wrestling is for everybody. And I think that's where it begins and ends for me. Wrestling is for everybody.
I don't like celebrities coming in. And not treating them properly.
Celebrities are part of everybody.
No, but you get what I'm saying though.
No, I hear
you. We need to give her a chance.
And I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's that like I think wrestling is for everyone. Storytelling is for everybody. And so if she is a person that can be touched by story, wrestling is for her. I think that when we start trying to decide who belongs in and out of our fandoms, we become weird gatekeepers. But what's been interesting to me about it is I've seen other Black wrestling podcasters kind of theorizing about how this connection happened, whether it was a connection through like a Lash Legend or someone like that. And I think that's been really cool. I think that us being in a place where you can have a figure like Sexy Red come and be featured on WWE television, it speaks to a degree of where we are with the diversity of the WWE's talent. The talent, when you think about Trick Williams, when you think about Lash Legend, when you think about, I can't think of the other, I'm blanking on somebody right now. But you think about those folks are folks who are young and Black and who live and breathe to a degree hip hop music, and so it's cool to see the demographic that's reflected in.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that.
Talent roster reflected also in the entertainment that is being added to the sports entertainment. But I guess what I'm saying is like since WrestleMania 1, we've seen these celebrities that kind of get it, but don't exactly get it present. You know what I mean? And you don't like, it's really hard to make somebody who doesn't get it, especially for a one-time appearance. And so if they can come and complete the spot that they have been paid to complete, I don't care how they feel about the business. That's just me.
But I do, and that's just me. Now, I do feel Snooki. I don't like that her involvement in WrestleMania 27. I believe that she probably had a good time and everything, but to me, I wanted more out of that, out of a celebrity. But like I said, also, Lawrence Taylor, I think he treated it with respect.
End of the day, independent of how celebrities feel about the business, how serious they take it, WWE is going to continue to bring in celebrities at various levels of engagement with wrestling and stuff like that. That they think will be a benefit for that particular night. And in some instances, it's kind of like using the celebrity too. You know what I mean? So it's just like, this is business, this is money, this is entertainment. The WWE is going to keep bringing people in at various levels, no matter what. No matter how fans feel about it.
I do wonder if celebrities are more likely to take it more serious, how I want them to take it nowadays, because they grew up with wrestling, as opposed to, like, if you think about WrestleMania, like probably even the first 15 WrestleManias, those celebrities that came in, they grew up with a whole different idea of what wrestling is. Does that make sense?
No, I hear you. I think a lot of them are. I think so. When you look at the stars that you've had come recently to WWE events and have partnerships with the WWE, so you think about Travis Scott. Travis Scott and HBK literally did the little too sweet hand gesture together. You know what I mean? So you got somebody who's legit 100% in the industry, and a person who just grew up as a fan and is a hip hop star connecting over this thing. And now his song is the official song. I think his theme from his last album is the official song of WrestleMania for 2025 in Las Vegas. So I guess what I'm saying is we see a lot more stars who grew up with the WWE, respected from the ground floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's awesome. And maybe that's why some of the yesteryear people didn't respect it, because they grew up with a different idea of what wrestling is. We do got to wrap it up. Do you have anything else to add to the Logan Paul thing? The Sexy Red thing is tomorrow, Tuesday.
As far as the Logan Paul thing, we saw via his text messages and releases on social media that he had the opportunity to set up this shot with a drone.
Yeah.
And he had been thinking about it and wanting to make it work. And so as a creative and as a performer, it was cool to see Logan get that off. That move from on top of the turnbuckle.
That was such a beautiful move too. Like, and he timed it 100% perfect. The moment it like fully does, it's at like, it's a 360, so it's at like 359, and he makes the jump. I was like amazed at how good of shot that was. What was the guy, Kevin Dunn? Kevin Dunn would never have done something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think, and I put 3 hot, 3 not. I actually put Logan Paul in the hot, even though he lost. I don't feel this was he had so many excuses walking out of this match that he didn't need to win and he still looked good.
I know that the title, like, you've had people who, well, no, I mean, that's kind of exactly the point. When the United States champion wrestles the WWE champion, he's supposed to lose. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's supposed to. And so you can't really hold that against Logan. There are special circumstances, right? But I mean, we're talking about 2 different tiers here. You know what I mean? A lower card champion is supposed to lose to the WWE champion.
Unless it's his time, but I'm just
right.
It's just, I like though that Logan Paul, like, I want a heel to walk away saying, "Oh, it's because of this. It's because of the ring announcer held my leg. I would have won, even though we know he wouldn't have. I just want, so he's protected. A protected loss to me from Logan Paul is like, it's funny because I like hearing Logan Paul bitch, you know. All right, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, so I'm going to try to get this podcast out probably tomorrow. If that's the case, Sexy Red is on tonight, NXT. If not, then she was on, if this comes out on Wednesday, then she was on NXT yesterday, and you can probably still catch that on Hulu and Sling TV, I think. But I'm gonna definitely check that out. And it'll be my first NXT in a very long time. So in my opinion, she is already doing what she needs to do and get eyes on the product. So anyways, is there comment below? You get a chance to win one of the belts at 10,000. Sorry this ran a little long. We just, Jeremy and I, we don't talk a lot, and it's always nice to talk to a wrestling fan. Guys, have a great day.